a COVID-19 survivor, a fresh one at that. We're being joined now by former presidential spokesperson, Dr. Doyi Okupe. Good evening, Dr. Okupe.
Good evening, Ladi.
What was the experience like?
Well, it's something I do not wish for my enemy. And it is better for our people to understand that this COVID-19 is real. You don't need to go through what we have gone through before you realize that. And that is why all the mantra about the social distancing, the hygienic washing of the hands, everything and anything that you can do to prevent yourself from getting infected, you should do it. You should do it. In God's name, you should do it. It's a matter of life and death. I'm lucky. My wife was lucky. We were there for 20 days. But, it is living day by day. You don't know what's going to happen the next day, whether you're going to get a fever, you're going to get a cough, or a result is going to come to say you are positive. And it is just, it is just something not desirable.
At the isolation center, we've heard so much about the level of comfort or otherwise of some of the isolation centers. What was your own experience like in terms of facilities, management, and so on? What was it like?
I was isolated at the Shagamu Center, and I think it's a purpose-built place. There's a general ward, and then there's a private wing to it. But, I think, it was something that can pass for something good anywhere in the world. It was really, really very comfortable. And, the doctors and the nurses totally subjected themselves to all sorts of things, Sometimes when there are, when they have temporary shortage of PPE, you will see the head of the team come in, with, something like a makeshift. And, then, as a doctor, a consultant, has to now work as a nurse and as a cleaner, carrying food, doing this. The health workers, the role they're playing is underestimated. And it is really, really incredible. But for them, many of us will not survive.
Well, we are celebrating some of those health workers today, particularly the nurses, and I'm happy that you did mention the nurses there. Going forward, what would you ask those who are managing this crisis? Very briefly, what would you ask them to consider? Since you've been in and you're now out, thankfully, what would you ask them? What is the one single thing you would ask them to consider as being most important at this point?
Well, they must comply with instructions. They must, they must subject themselves to treatment. When things are not going well, trust in, in the doctors and those who are managing you. And I don't know, for me, I was extreme. My wife and I, we were extremely prayerful, because at a point in time, we were both negative. Then another result came, and I was positive, and that is so depressing, But I give glory to Almighty God, because I called upon Him and He answered me. I am so grateful to God.
David, Dr. Okupe, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and congratulations on your recovery. This perhaps gives others the good news that it is possible to recover. Thank you so much for your time. Dr. Okupe, of course, joined us from Ikperu in Ogun State.